దేశంలో సమాచార హక్కు ద్వారా అవినీతి పరులను వణికిస్తున్న ప్రముఖ ఉద్యమకారుల్లో ఒకరు సుభాష్ చంద్ర అగర్వాల్. ఢిల్లీలో ఒక వస్త్ర వ్యాపారిగా జీవితం సాగిస్తున్న సుభాష్ ప్రవృత్తి అవినీతి వ్యతిరేక పోరాటం. ఆయన సహాస్త్రం సంధిస్తే నేతలు వణికిపోతారు. 2G స్పెక్ట్రమ్ కేసులో కూడా సుభాష్ ఎన్నో దరఖాస్తులు సంధించారు. తాజాగా సహచట్టంపై జరుగుతున్న పరిణామాలపై విశ్లేషించేందుకు ఈటీవీ ముందడుగు ఆయన్ను పలకరించింది. ఆ వివరాలు ఆయనతో ముఖాముఖి ఇప్పుడు చూద్దాం.
సుభాష్ చంద్ర అగర్వాల్ సమాచార హక్కు గురించి తెలిసిన వారికి పెద్దగా పరిచయం అవసరం లేని వ్యక్తి. ఢిల్లీలోని చాందనీ చౌక్ లో 62 ఏళ్ల సుభాష్ ఓ వస్త్ర వ్యాపారి. అంతేకాదు, ఢిల్లీ విశ్వవిద్యాలయంలో ఇంజనీరింగ్ విభాగంలో అత్యున్నత శ్రేణి పట్టభద్రుడు కూడా. వృత్తి బట్టల వ్యాపారం, ప్రవృత్తి సామాజిక పోకడలపై తనదైన శైలిలో ప్రశ్నించే తత్వం. సమాచార హక్కు రాకముందు లేటెస్ట్ ఎడిటర్ విభాగంలో ఎన్నో పత్రికలకు సమస్యలపై వేల కొద్దీ లేఖాస్త్రాలు సంధించి గిన్నీస్ బుక్ ఎక్కిన వ్యక్తి ఈయన. సహచట్టం సుభాష్ అగర్వాల్ చేతుల్లో నిజంగా పాశుపతాస్త్రమే. సమాచార ఉద్యమకారుడిగా ఎన్నో జాతీయ పురస్కారాలు అందుకున్నారు. న్యాయమూర్తుల ఆస్తులు, చట్టసభ్యుల్లో అవినీతి, ప్రణాళికా సంఘం పనితీరుని సమాచార హక్కు ద్వారా సుభాష్ ప్రశ్నించిన తీరు దేశాన్ని ఆలోచింపజేసింది. నిత్యం కనీసం 6 దినపత్రికలు క్షుణ్ణంగా చదివి ప్రజా సమస్యల పరిష్కారానికి సమాచార హక్కుని అస్త్రంగా ఉపయోగిస్తున్నారు. సహచట్టం తాజా పరిణామాల నేపథ్యంలో ఈటీవీ ముందడుగు సుభాష్ చంద్ర అగర్వాల్ ని పలకరించింది. ఆ ముఖాముఖి ఇప్పుడు.
అవినీతి రహిత సమాజ స్థాపనకు రూపొందించినటువంటి సమాచార హక్కు చట్టాన్ని సుభాష్ అగర్వాల్ సమర్థవంతంగా సద్వినియోగం చేసుకున్నారు. అనేకమైనటువంటి అవినీతి కుంభకోణాలను వెలికి తీయటంలో ఆయన చేసిన కృషి ప్రశంసనీయం. ఆయన సాధించిన విజయాలతో పాటు సమాచార హక్కు చట్టం ఏ రకంగా అమలవుతుందో ఆయన్నే అడిగి తెలుసుకుందాం. సుభాష్ అగర్వాల్ జీ నమస్తే. రైట్ టు ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ యాక్ట్ ఈస్ బీయింగ్ ఇంప్లిమెంటెడ్. హౌ ఎఫెక్టివ్లీ ఇట్ ఈస్ బీయింగ్ ఇంప్లిమెంటెడ్?
I think as of now, it is being implemented in a very proper manner. And today only, Union Cabinet decided to withdraw its earlier proposed amendments, and it's a welcome move. But there were some doubts created in the mind of RTI activists when Honorable Prime Minister spoke during the Central Information Commission and put forward 3 ideas. One about frivolous petitions, second removing public-private partnership from the RTI Act, and teesra right to privacy. But there was an abrupt reaction in the convention for 2 days, and ultimately in the valedictory session, Mr. V. Narayan Swamy had to clarify that government is not going to dilute the RTI Act in any manner and will also not allow any agency to get it diluted.
In the midst of lot of scams which are being exposed recently, so are you confident by saying like this? Are you confident that the government is keen in implementation of RTI Act?
No, as I have said, there have been pressures on the government, like was reflected in the Prime Minister's speech. But you know, arguments are frivolous petitions overburden public resources. Public information officers in that case would be rejecting most petitions with uncomfortable queries in name of frivolous petitions. And second was right to privacy. Right to privacy is very much covered by Section 81J and Section 11 of RTI Act. Only problem arises for the wrongdoers when Section 82 overrides the exemption clause of 81J. That Section 82 says, if public interest overweighs harm protected by any of the exemption clause, including 81J on privacy, then the information will have to be provided. And number 3, public-private partnership. Now, Act itself says, anybody directly or indirectly controlled or financed by the government And you know, most of the schemes and scandals are due to this unholy alliance between the private sector and public bodies. Therefore, it is not at all fair to disturb RTI Act in any manner under any of the three excuses as mooted by the Prime Minister, and which I suppose were mooted under some pressure.
The 4.1b is vital and very soul to the RTI Act. So why the state governments are not ready to implement it? What is the problem with them? What are their apprehensions?
See, they don't want to be transparent, and every wrongdoer does not want to be transparent. This is the problem. We suggest that, and Honorable Central Information Commission has also time to time suggested that the information sought the most should be automatically covered under Section 4.1b and suo motu declared. And problem with the states is one more, that there are two sections, Section 27 and 28, which give power to competent authorities and to states to draft their own rules. And these rules are often drafted in a manner that the whole simplicity and essence and purpose of RTI Act is killed. Even now, in respect of fees, many states and competent authorities are charging abnormally high rupees 500 as RTI fees, despite DOPT circular. Section 27 and 28 permit them to have any amount of fees as RTI fees. Now, while the Act says, DOPT rule says that there should be rupees 10 as the RTI fees, many high courts and states are having RTI fees as rupees 500. That is misuse of Section 27 and 28. These two sections should be repealed, and there should be one India, one rule in theory for the RTI Act.
So how can states be compelled and made them to implement 4.1b?
See, this is the problem. RTI Act is practically working very fine in respect of public authorities governed under Central Information Commission. But in case of state information commissions, there is very bad state of affairs, and what we can do, there is only remedy is make complaint to the governor. And I don't think anybody is making complaint, or even the governor is listening to the complaints of the RTI petitioners.
So recently, of late, the Supreme Court has suggested only judges and lawyers should be appointed as information commissioners. So does the commission need these kind of legal experts?
It is totally unconstitutional, and it lacks both legal and practical aspects. If this judgment is implemented, then RTI Act will be killed practically, because it requires two bench members to decide an appeal, and out of which one will be from judicial background. And if a member from judicial background is there, then every public authority will bring itself a lawyer, and it will be an enormous burden on the public authorities, and every hearing will take hours. Now a Central Information Commissioner on an average decides 25 appeals in a day. Then the frequency may remain just to 4 or 5, and backlog may be 10 years or even more at Central Information Commission. And this is like justice denied is justice delayed. It will be information delayed, information denied.
Even after completion of 7 years, the RTI Act has not, the awareness of RTI Act has not seeped into the masses. So what is the reason? What hampers in implementation of RTI Act, and why?
You are perfectly justified in question. I have been attending many seminar, conferences, workshops at educational institutions also. I have interacted with many students from the university and from schools. And unfortunately, most of the students from university and schools are unaware of this wonderful piece of legislation. And I think chapters should be added in the school textbooks about RTI Act, and I was told that government has already decided to do so, and seminars and workshops should be held at university and colleges so that at least young generation may be aware of RTI Act. And I compliment Indian media to propagate the use of RTI Act by its highlighting the RTI responses and CIC verdicts which are of public importance and that enlighten the people about the importance of this Transparency Act.
Why the government is adopting delaying tactics in implementation of Whistleblower Act? What is the reason for that?
See, Whistleblower Act in its present form does not provide any protection to RTI petitioners. And see, what I suggest, how can you define RTI petitioner? This is very difficult. What I suggest something different. See, as far as my case is concerned, fortunately I am based in Delhi. My petitions are against those sober public authorities which do not have any this kind of mafia and supari. Those are being attacked are in remote areas and whose petitions are aimed to expose big mafia and some other elements. And therefore, as far as I am personally concerned, there was an attempt to attack on me also. What I suggest, snatch security given to legislators, including parliamentarians and MLAs. Then they will realize sensitivity of life of commoners. And secondly, much of the security forces will be available for public safety. You know, I don't remember the name of the country where parliamentarians in that country demanded from their prime minister that they should be provided security. You know what was the answer of the prime minister there? If you are so sensitive about your personal security, please don't contest elections. This is the thing we need.
To what level the corruption has reached in India, and how can it be eradicated from the society through RTI Act?
See, through RTI Act has not only exposed the previous scams, it has been proved as an effective check for scams for future. But RTI Act alone cannot eliminate corruption, and neither so much talked about Lokpal Bill. Actually, what we need, a package of poll reforms, judicial reforms, and time-bound action plan on the pattern of right to action. There should be a public grievance bill.
What more startling revelations we can expect from you in the near future?
You just give me clues. You are a reporter. Reporters give me clues. Insiders give me clues. You just give me clues and there will be an RTI petition. And then the exposure will be before you.
రాష్ట్ర సమాచార కమిషనర్లు బాగా పనిచేయాలంటే సిఈసికి మరింత పదునైనటువంటి అధికారాలు అందజేయాలని, అప్పుడే స్టేట్స్ కూడా ఖచ్చితంగా పనిచేస్తాయని సుభాష్ అగర్వాల్ అభిప్రాయపడుతున్నారు. అదేవిధంగా అవినీతి రహిత సమాజాన్ని నెలకొల్పాలంటే ఎన్నికల సంస్కరణలు కూడా తక్షణమే అమలు చేయాలని ఆయన అభిప్రాయపడుతున్నారు. ప్రసాద్, ఈటీవీ న్యూస్, న్యూఢిల్లీ.